Hey boys and girls, it's Ron Bass with another edition of Same Day Soar High Personal
Same Day Soar High.
Same day
Development of personalities.
Same day personalities. Same day development. Sorry guys, we've got a lot of different companies around this place, but Same Day Services is our home repair company, but Soar High Personal Development is
what you're tuned into right now.
Yeah. And speaking of tuned in, we've got Davin Hunley.
Tuned in always.
He's always tuned in.
Always. Sometimes too turned in.
And turned on.
No, well, I don't know about
turned on.
No.
Oh my God. At any rate, tonight we're going to have some fun. We're going to do some Ron's Rants. You know, I like to do that every once in a while.
Yep.
Rant about stuff that just pisses me off or that doesn't make sense or just silliness in general.
Yep.
Like last night, late at night, I go to Wendy's on my way home. And I look up and there's this huge billboard. And it's all about Hamilton, the play.
Okay.
The problem is, yeah, I know it.
No, you did not.
The problem is that it doesn't say where it's at. In other words, it says Hamilton, you know, and the date, and it's like in these big, huge letters and bright lights. And I'm looking, and I don't see the location. And then I'm squinting my eyes, and I finally see it. Barely you can read it at the very bottom of the billboard, Hammond's Hall, which is in Springfield, Missouri.
Right.
And I'm thinking, really? I mean, who's the brilliant guy that designed this billboard that probably cost $500 to $1,000 a month for this particular
or more
message,
or more.
I don't get things like that, and who like follows up to check on these things?
Exactly.
It's just ridiculous to me.
You know,
and I'm sitting in line thinking the wind's blowing, and I'm looking around, and things are like some of the lights are ready to crash down. I'm seeing this billboard, I'm thinking, it's like, how do people know where to go?
Exactly.
It's great to talk about the play, but
I was a runner for a local law firm, and I was one of those people that went and checked to make sure our billboard time ran as it was supposed to at each billboard. That was one of my jobs one day.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so...
You know, one time I had billboards all over Springfield, Missouri.
Right.
But back in those days, guess what? It was not digital. It was paper.
Yeah.
And you would have to... Yeah, it was all paper. So it's kind of hard to screw it up. I'll have to show you some of those one of these days. I always had a coffee cup in my hand because when I quit smoking cigarettes, I went to coffee.
Right.
And to make a long story short, all my television commercials, I had a cup of coffee.
I love
So my billboards was a picture of me holding a cup of coffee. It's just my trademark. It's kind of hard to explain.
No, I get it.
But our jingle's been around like 30 or 40 years, so almost every single day somebody sings the jingle to me.
I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I love that.
It's been a long time, but so it just goes to show how important advertising is.
Exactly.
Back to advertising, here's this billboard, and it's like, I'm thinking to myself, not everybody knows to go to this particular location. You could barely read the location. It's crazy to me. I don't understand that. All that money, all that design, all that expense, and
for what?
And for what? Anyway, I'm just ranting. So today I get up to go to work, walk outside, and guess what? There's a big truck blocking my truck.
No way.
I mean, really? Why would somebody... It's like they're trimming trees. But I'm thinking, why would they recognize that somebody has to pull out... It's not me. Somebody has to pull out of the driveway.
Right.
And go to work or leave. And they just park right in front of the... So what did I do? I just drove through the yard. And went through the neighbor's driveway and split out. It's just unbelievable to me, man. People have back to this is what I want to talk about: the low regard that people have for others.
Yeah.
I'm in the parking lot today at Walmart, and I'm like pulling out, and this car just comes. I mean, like racing by me. What happened to common courtesy?
Oh no.
Where people would stop and let you go. No, not now.
No, not
now
anymore.
It's like, you know, let's see who can get there first.
Exactly.
Makes no sense to me at all. Speaking of Walmart, sorry, I got all this stuff
No, I'm ready.
stored up in my head tonight.
I'm ready for it.
I'm in Walmart and I'm thinking, you know, I'm a business guy, you're a business guy. And I'm looking around and I'm seeing this, as I walk in, there's this area between the checkouts and the groceries, and it's like this narrow. And I'm thinking, it's like a bottleneck.
Oh, like the hall? Like
It's like the space between when you come in the store, the checkout registers, and the groceries. And it's like this narrow. And so people are like backed up,
Right.
trying to get into the store to shop.
It's
ridiculous.
Busy. There's so many people there shopping all the time.
But I'm telling you, the lane is like this wide.
No, I agree with you. I
don't understand who's making these rules. Who's in charge of management? I mean, I just don't. It's so, to me, it's common sense.
I agree.
Expand it. You can't have a little bit more aisle space coming into the store so that you can move. I'm not complaining. I'm a pretty patient guy, but I had to like walk behind people all the way almost to where I was getting I was getting aspirin, I think, today, and I had to just wait and just walk really slow. Not a big deal, but what about the people that are really in a hurry that got to get somewhere?
Right.
It's like crowded. But it's not because there's so many people, it's because the space is so narrow.
Right.
I don't get it. Can you expound upon that, sir?
So I think
where's that thing?
They want to have more product. They want to have more space
That's kind of
for
what
product.
I'm thinking.
Which I understand, but at the same time, it takes away from the convenience. So therefore, I don't want to shop there no matter how many products you have if it's not convenient for me.
Well, sorry, I have one of my technicians going crazy trying to send me a message here. So
it's all right.
I'm going to send him a message back.
What about interruptions?
Yeah, how about that?
That'll be an easy D rant. Interruptions. Every time I start on something, whether it's a song, a beat, I sit down to do something, I get interrupted within the first 10 minutes. Every time, and it throws off, like right when you get engaged.
Fair enough.
That's when someone interrupts you, and it's like, dang.
And you're so focused all the time on the music.
Exactly. Just like
SoarHighEntertainment.com is our website. We are in the music
Soar
business.
High Records on Spotify. You'll be able to find every artist that way.
Davin's our producer, and we very busy. We've got a lot of things going on in the music world.
Yes.
So full circle back to where I was thinking originally when I walked in about how people are not very considerate, generally speaking. When I was coming up, man, people would wave and talk and how you doing this. Now everybody, but I'm looking at people today in the parking lot walking into Walmart, and it's like I'm looking at them, and I can just see they're like stone-faced. Nobody's engaging. Nobody's talking. There's no interaction. It just blows my mind. I mean, how about just like, how you doing? Good to see you. How's it going? What's up? Nothing. Like people are so stressed, so into their own trip.
Yeah.
That's really sad, man, in my opinion. But there again, and then it gets down to people being discourteous and being not considerate at all. I mean, I always would open the door for somebody.
Right.
I always get out of the way for somebody if they need to, like, just pull over and let somebody pass.
I agree.
How big of a deal is that?
I agree.
Trucks, that bothers me. Everybody's got to have a truck. Why does everybody have to have a truck, Devin? What is up with trucks?
They want to feel
Feel what?
manly.
Thank
I
you.
guess.
Important, big on
Maybe.
the road, powerful.
I don't know.
And why are people driving trucks
Maybe
around?
it's to haul stuff, but
Maybe. That's the original purpose.
I agree.
Why is everybody driving trucks in the city? What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Or big vehicles. Can't get in, can't get out of small spaces.
Yeah.
In and out of traffic. They're cumbersome. They're expensive to operate. There's lots of I don't get it. Explain that to me.
I don't know. I mean, I drive a fairly big vehicle, but it's not.
Your vehicle's not that big.
No, it's not overly big by any means.
No.
But the people that want to drive the big trucks and
I think it's a marketing thing. I think I think there's a lot of pressure on people to buy certain things, and people fall into that trap. That's another thing I want to talk about tonight is how people are manipulated, easily manipulated. Talk about religion. Talk about when I used to be in the multi-level marketing business years ago. They would prey on people's hopes and desires. And the religious side is preying on you're going to go to heaven or you're going to go to hell. And if you don't do certain things, you don't give a certain amount of money, you don't participate, you don't engage, you're probably not going to be favored by God. I just don't think that's the right thing to say to people. I don't think that's the way to operate. I think people should. I think tithing's cool. But I think to make it mandatory, no, I don't agree with that. Let people do it because they're comfortable doing it.
Right.
And help people. The whole idea is to help people less fortunate. But back to the idea of being manipulated and being conned. Another thing, like sex on the internet, it's like everywhere you turn, it's all about sex and romance. And these women, I don't blame them because they're making money all kinds of different ways. But it's TikTok, it's Facebook, it's sex. And the poor, unassuming young man that's seeing all this, that's throwing money at this stuff, who's getting nothing out of it.
right.
It's really sad to me that they're so manipulated. It just you gotta open your eyes a little bit and recognize it's a big con game. Sorry.
I agree.
I mean, if you're gonna get into the sex thing, you might as well do the prostitution thing. At least that way you get something, really get something out of it, the money. Otherwise, you're just like throwing money at nothing. In my opinion.
I don't know. I feel
what do you have to say about that, Davin?
We're off the rants. That feels very personal development.
No, it's not personal. I'm ranting. I'm explaining. I'm telling you my opinions.
Well, I mean, I'm not really on
lost for words, are you?
Well, because I'm not really on the internet like that, so I'm not really into.
Everybody's on the internet, Davin. Every day, all day long.
I agree with you.
Okay, well, let's change something.
I'm just not on that.
Uncomfortable with that subject.
I'm not uncomfortable with it.
Whatever. All right, what else have I got here? Let's talk about banking.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. So I'm involved in. First of all, I don't borrow money. I don't use credit. I have been like this for a lot of years.
Right.
There was a time in my career where I borrowed a lot of money. I went bankrupt. It was horrible. I said, I'll never do that again. If I can't pay for something, forget it. And that's just the way I operate now. Well, banks are really interesting. Like, as an example, because I don't borrow any money, there are times where I feel like I'm being penalized because, like, I'll deposit a check. And sometimes the bank will hold the check for as much as a week to 10 days. Now, sometimes they don't hold the check at all. They just run it through and give me credit right away.
Right.
It's like there's no rhyme or reason for that. And it's like the fact that I don't have a relationship with the bank, like a banker.
Right.
It's almost like you just flip a coin if you're going to be able to have the access to the funds or not. That makes no sense to me. How about the bank reaching out and saying, hey, you've demonstrated, you're credible, you do a good job, blah, blah, you keep a certain balance. If you ever need help, how about call us? Nothing. How about a phone call? How about a letter? How about something, anything?
Something I want to talk to somebody, like if I'm doing well with my finances, I should be
complimented.
Yeah, that's a good way to put
not penalized.
No.
Hold my check because it's a big check and you can't get credit on this.
Blase.
Come on, man. And then, on another banking note, I deal with a credit card processor, and this gets really weird too. So here's the deal with them. They'll give you like instant credit on credit processing if you pay a fee, where the money goes directly into your bank account right away instead of having to wait 2 to 3 days. Well, all of a sudden there's times where the bank rejects the deposit, and it's like there's like a daily limit apparently on how much cash you can put in your bank account.
That's crazy.
Where is that at? From one bank to the next bank, there shouldn't be any limit.
No,
right?
No.
And they don't tell you about this. They don't tell you in advance. They don't discuss it. All of a sudden, it just says rejected. Then it goes back into the normal loop where you have to wait 2 days for the money to go into your account automatically. Where is that at? What does that mean?
And
explain that to me.
When somebody wants
it's cash. It's not like a check.
Exactly.
It's a bank transfer from a credit card processor, which is really a bank, into a bank.
Exactly.
Explain that to me.
I don't know. I have no clue. I wish I could because that happens with me too.
It's ridiculous.
You have to wait for things to get transferred over, and it's like, why? Why can't it be instant? They want it. They want more money. That's what those fees are for.
It's usually about money, but sometimes it's just about the protocol that they've set up that they don't explain to anybody. They just, if you read all the fine print, you might be able to figure it out.
Maybe if you read all the way through.
And I'm not being negative about it. You got to have banks. I get it. Right. It's very important if you're in business. Okay, fine. But I remember a time, Davin, where I couldn't even get a bank account, and I would have to drive to another city to a check casher to cash checks so I could operate. And sometimes as much as twice a day, every once in a while, 3 times a day, I would drive 70 miles one way to cash checks because there was somebody that thought enough of me to not be critical of me and say, okay, if you need this done, I'll do it for you. And I'm not going to worry about the checks because I know you'll make it good if there's a bad check.
Right.
But finding that guy was like a needle in a haystack.
Right.
And I did that for years until I could finally get back on my feet and get some credibility and then finally got into a bank. I'm not saying it to say, look at me, but I'm just saying, where's the courtesy? Every once in a while, but it should be more often. It should be people should be more considerate to other people.
I agree. A lot of people have, we talked about having the selfish mindset.
Very selfish people are very selfish.
I agree.
And I don't like that.
I don't either.
I'm not that guy.
No.
I don't want to be that guy. Okay, here's another Rants. How much time we got?
We're at 15.
We're at 15?
Okay. We got like 5
minutes. Okay.
Yeah, around there.
Another thing, people's attention span is like It's like this big. Today I noticed on our last podcast it was less than 30 seconds average. So out of 1,000 people that listened to our podcast last week, the average listening time was 30 seconds. Some people listen to the whole 17 or 18 minutes.
So some people are listening right now.
Only like a couple of percentage points.
But those people that are listening right now, they know we're talking about them.
Good point.
So now they're like, hey, these guys are talking about me.
And that's another thing I don't get. Why is our attention span so small? It makes no sense to me, man.
The world is so fast. That's what I've kind of have given it up to.
But we need to slow down a little bit.
I agree.
We need to enjoy the process. We need to massage the process. We need to enjoy the journey. Come on, man.
I do agree with you.
I mean, it's cool to be in a hurry if you have to be, but if you don't have to be.
And most people are for no reason.
So here's another. I'm getting towards the end of my rants. A lot of stuff going on all day long. And you know what? I'm not like overly critical, but I analyze these things primarily because I'm a business person and I think about efficiency all day long.
Right, you have to.
And when I see things that make zero sense, it's like I have to talk about them, at least sometimes.
No, I mean, I agree with you.
So I go into Steak and Shake the other night and they're closed at 11 o'clock. They're supposed to be open until midnight. Well, what's up with that? It's like, just because it's a Sunday night, they could close early. They decide to close early, don't tell anybody, they just close. I was planning on being there before they closed to eat a nice meal when I got home after working out, right?
Now, Steve,
what's up with that?
Here is my argument for this, because that's happened to me.
They used to be open all night.
Right.
What happened to that?
COVID.
Now, so now COVID's gone. Well, not gone, but better. So that was their excuse.
They took the opportunity to say, hey, we saved a lot of money by not having people go in 24/7. Let's cut it in half.
So let's screw the public. We don't care about courtesy. We don't care about service. Let's just save the money.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great.
They want to make the money.
Trader Joe's. Have you ever heard of that company?
I have heard of Trader Joe's.
I read an article about them today. You know what they said?
What?
Screw you and your big ideas, Walmart, about self-service. We'll never have self-service checkouts.
I love that.
I like it.
I like that.
They're my cup of tea. They're my kind of guy.
They're also $2 more expensive than a Walmart product. Same product.
Well, you know what? They're all about customer service.
Which is cool. I get that. I agree.
That's how we run our company.
Yes.
That's how we run all of our businesses. Right?
But I like to make it both affordable and customer service
Fair
based. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
A little bit of both.
All right. So I guess that kind of winds it down a little bit here. I guess we're kind of
we might be closing up early. I don't think our hours are on Google. At least for this puppy.
Pretty crazy, huh? Well, what's the bottom line, Dav?
The bottom line is that if something's bothering you, don't take any wooden nickels.
I like that. You're funny. He's making fun of me because it's one of my podcasts. That's how I ended it. All right, Davo, Big D, I guess we'll close it out for now. And until next time, don't take any wooden nickels. Have a nice day.